Naija YouTube channel. I want to say thank you to all of my subscribers. Thank you so much for subscribing to Stylish Naija YouTube channel, for following me on all of my various social media platforms. I appreciate you guys a whole lot. So guys, today I'm going to be showing you how to actually cut this trendy, so you can see it. Of course it is really trendy and in vogue right now, this trendy side cut. That's what I'm going to call it. Actually, if you know the real name for this skirt pattern, please, I would like to know. Just drop it in the comment section. I would really want to know, because I don't know the name. So I'm just going to call it a side cut skirt. So you could see it has been so used, I'm going to show you how to actually cut it today. And then if you notice, 80% of them, they are actually done on slash and spread. Towards the end of the video, I'm going to actually slash it, add the slash lines to it, so you will see how it is being done. So guys, if you are new to my channel, if you have not subscribed, I would appreciate if you hit on the subscribe button and then hit on the notification bell also to get an update whenever I upload a new video. And you can follow me on all of my social media platforms: Stylish Naija Instagram, Stylish Naija Facebook, Stylish Naija Pinterest, to get notifications whenever I upload videos. Okay, so let's get started. So I have my pattern paper here. So I'm going to, for this kind of skirt, you need, if you don't know how to use pattern, I actually don't know how you are going to come out of this one. So let me just say it that way. Freehand will not work on this, unless if you don't want to add the drapes, fine. But if you are adding drapes, freehand will not work. You need pattern. So that is why I always advise people to learn how to draft patterns. Okay, so I have some couple of lines here on my skirt pattern. I have the first line here. This is going to be my waistline, and then from the waistline to the first line, that's the second line that I have here, is 9 inches, which is my hip line. So this is like standard for hip line. And then the next line that I have is 16 inches, which is my knee line. And then the last line is the full length of your skirt. That's how long you want the skirt to actually be. So I have two pattern papers. For this kind of skirt, you actually draft, both of them are going to be cut together. So this is the second one for the back piece. So what I'm going to do, I'm just going to drop it on the side. Let's work with this. When we're done, I'll place them and cut together. So I'll fold my pattern paper into two. So you use the biggest part of your measurement. That's how you actually fold your pattern. So because this and pattern, if you are drafting this kind of skirt, you're actually going to use two patterns. Either you use the fish skirt pattern, which some people call the mermaid skirt, or you use the trumpet pattern. So now let's just get started. I think we should make use of the trumpet pattern so that the down will be very wide. So you fold your fabrics into two like this. Like I said, use the biggest part of your measurement to draft this. You can do it in so many ways. You can actually do a long straight skirt and then slash and spread it. You can do a fish skirt, just like I've explained. So let me just continue. Okay, so the first measurement I'm going to add now is my waistline measurement. So the waist is actually 28. When you divide 28 into 4, you have 7 inches. So this is 7 inches. And then I'm going to add 1 inch to it for my dart, and then you add the allowance. So it depends on how much allowance. So when I'm transferring to the fabric, you can add your allowance. So I'll add 1 inch, as I'm going to take it out for the dart. So that's that. The next measurement that I'm going to add is my hip measurement, which is 36. You divide 36 into 4, you have 9. So this is 9 inches here for my hip. So I'm going to just add 2 inches allowance to it because of the dot line that I added here. So the next measurement, I'm just going to measure what I have here, 11 inches, and then I'm going to subtract about 1 inch or 1.5 inch from it. So to get my curve properly, so I'll separate 1.5 inches just to get my curve. So the next thing, I'm going to join all of my lines together. So I'm just going to do this like this now. I'll take my curve like this. And then from this point, I would just plant it into those points. So you see, it is very simple and very easy. The next thing we're going to do now we're going to use the down part of our pattern paper, and what we have here is actually 12 inches. So I'm just going to exhaust the whole pattern paper of 12 inches. So you are just going to take your tape like this, and then your ruler like this, and then you just slant it to the side, and then you do this. If you actually want your skirt, if you want the knee part, which, because we are going to actually cut out the knee part, so you can decide to leave it like this. So whether the knee is tight or is tight or wide actually makes no difference. So I'm going to place this now on the back pattern, and then I'll cut both of them together. So for the back pattern, make sure you make the back pattern bigger because of the zipper allowance that is going to be added on the back. Okay, so before I continue, I just want to say, if you want to register for my online classes, you will see my number scrolling through the screen. So send me a message on WhatsApp. For people that want to register for online classes, if you want to send pictures of subscriber illustration, please send it to our Facebook group, which is Stylish Naija Sewing Group. It's only people that want to register for online class. These are the people that should send me a message on WhatsApp, please. So I would cut out like this. Okay, so the next thing now, you add your dart. So for the dart, you can just use your bust span measurement for the dart, and then from this point like this, you measure 5 inches, depends on how deep. You can use 4 inches, how deep you want your dart to be. So you take ½ inch to this side, and then ½ inch to this side, and then you connect it straight down. Okay, so we are done. The next thing we're going to do now, I'm going to open up this skirt. So keep the back piece. The back piece, we're not going to, okay, let's cut them out first before we do the slash and the spread. So I'm just going to place them like this. So I'll fold the back piece because of the zipper, it is bigger. So I've not opened it up yet. So I've sealed up the back from the zipper allowance part, and then I'm going to take the front like this. I'm going to place both of them together. So it is very important for you to place both of them together. This is what will actually help you to get it nicely and correctly. So the next thing we're going to do now, we're going to cut out. So in cutting, you are going to choose which part you actually want your cut to be. It could be on the right hand side, it could be on the left hand side, depends on what you actually want. So I think for this, let's do it on the left hand side. So for this also, in cutting, what you are going to put into consideration, how high do you actually want your curve to be? Do you understand? So how high you want it to be, and then how deep you want it to come into the center part. You put all those things into consideration, and for those measurements, you are just going to determine them by yourself. So if you want, so you know this is our knee line. So there are some that the cut can actually start from the knee line, that it comes in from the knee part, and then it comes like this. While some, it goes above the knee line. Some even come so close to just a little bit below the hip line. So those ones are very revealing and exposing. So it depends on what you want. So for this, what I'm just going to do, I think we are going to go 2 inches above our knee line. So our knee is 16 inches. So we'll come like this. This is 14 inches. So I will just mark it like this. And then on this part, you are going to determine, like I said, this is the center of our skirt. So you are going to determine how deep you actually want it to be. You put that into consideration. If you want it to get to this center part, if you want to cut it as much as to get to the center part, fine. If you don't want a very deep cut, you can just measure what you want. So for this, I think we should make use of about 7 inches. So this is 7 inches now. So what you are going to do, we're just going to take our pattern curve like this, and then you see this is my 7 inches, and I'm just going to place it like this. You see how I'm placing the pattern curve. You see how I'm placing it to get to that 7 inches point. I'm just going to curve like this. So you see I curve it like this. After curving like this now, so this is our 7 inches. So from this point, I'll just take it down, just plant it down, and then from this point now, you can actually freehand it. So on this part now is covered. If you notice on this center part, that's this top part is covered. Then on this down part, you can also determine if you want it to come into that, let it go as half of the skirt, because this is the center of our skirt. If you want it to come into the center, you put that into consideration. But what I'm just going to advise, if you are going to be doing a slash and spread, if you are going to be doing slash and spread, I would advise you can take it as much as let it come into this part like this. That's your curve. You can just mark it like this. That's if you are going to be doing a slash and spread. You can cut it, because you are still going to cut this part and then spread it out on your fabric. You can do this, you can come in. But if you are not going to be doing a slash and spread, if you just want it to be, maybe you just want it to be a normal flared skirt, what you are going to do, I will not advise you to come in as much as to this side. So you can decide to just take your curve like this. That's on this part. You can measure, let's just measure so we'll be safe. So you can measure, you can come in by 5 inch or 4 inch if you just want a small cut out of the skirt. And then you just, from this point like this, okay, I'm just trying to place my pattern curve nicely. So you can come, so you see now we're not getting to the center of the skirt. And then on the down part, you can also determine how and wide you want it to be. So what you are just going to do now, after navigating your curve like this, you would just take it down. So for this, if you are making use of this cut, so that means you don't want to actually do slash and spread on your pattern, on your dress. That's if you see from the pictures that I sent. But if you are making use of this, that means you want to do slash and spread. Excuse me. So that's just that. So what I'm going to do now, I'm going to cut out the first one first, and then let's see before I show you how to actually slash and spread it. So you cut both the back and the front together for this pattern. So you see the skirt, you see it's looking like what we have on the picture that I showed you earlier. It is actually looking like that. Okay, so you can see what we have now is looking like what we have on the picture. So it is looking so beautiful. If you are doing a normal skirt, like I said, this is just beautiful, perfect for you. That's if you are not going to be putting all those pleats, that's those slash and drapes on it. So but if you are going to be putting drapes, I would advise you cut this part like this. Why? Is because you are going to actually slash this and then spread it. So for the slash, you can determine how wide you actually want your slash lines to be. So from this point like this, I will just measure what I have. I have about 13 inches. So you can decide to divide it and maybe 2 inches, 4, 6, 8, 10, 12. I think it's just perfect that way. So you just mark them all out like this. And then the next thing we're going to do now, you're just going to, I'll take my pattern, my ruler like this. So I'm going to slash. It's only the front. Note, it's only the front that you're going to slash. So I'm just going to take it like this, and then I will slant it up to this point. So I'm just going to leave maybe about 1 inch to the hemline, and then I will do this also. So this and slash lines, you can actually do them however you want to. You can make them curve, you can make them straight, so it depends on what you actually want. So after that, the next thing you are going to do now, for this part, for this down part, you are going to, if you want it very wide, here's what we are going to do. You just take the center of it like this. So I'm going to mark about 6 inches here, and then this 6 inches, I'm just going to take it to the top of this point. It's just to separate, just to open up this down part. That's just the essence. So to make it, so when I spread on my fabric, so you take out the back piece. So the back is just going to, so you see the back piece is just going to be like this. So you don't slash or spread. You're not putting any drapes on the back. So for those of you that have registered for my advanced class, if they watch this video, they'll be able to sew this dress. Even though I'm not actually sewing it on this video, they'll be able to sew it perfectly well, because we actually did something like this. So with the idea that they have there, if they watch this, they'll be able to sew this kind of skirt perfectly well. So you just slash like this to this point, and then you open up this point like this. Okay, so at the end of the day, this is how it's going to look like. So what I'm just going to do now is transfer to your fabric, and then you cut out and then sew. So thank you so much. I've now come to the end of this video. If you find it helpful, I will appreciate if you hit on the like button to make me know you appreciate what I did. So for those of you that will ask questions on the comment section, this style, actually the first one I did that I did not slash, that's for intermediate people, can actually pull that off, but all of this slash and spread is actually for advanced sewers. So thank you so much. I'll see you in my next video, in my next class. Thank you.